until sunset, and dusk until dawn. Every minute of every hour of every day. On the front line, it's key workers keeping our country moving, putting themselves at risk to keep others safe. For the vulnerable, for the sick, for the young and the old. We rise to the challenge. We care.
That's not good.
We protect. We help. We fix. We deliver. For everyone. We will get through this. And it's thanks to our key workers. We're proud to represent heroes. And not all heroes wear capes. Key workers deserve recognition, protection and support. Get us on your side. Join us today.
Good evening, welcome to GMB evening package. I'm just going to introduce everyone who's joining us tonight. We have Mick Ricks, your national officer. We have Ed Cross, Susie Jenner, Steve Good and myself, Steve Garrick from GMB London region. I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves momentarily. There's already a load of messages that have come in to us tonight. As you can see, everyone, Mark Turnbull saying hi, Kirsty Ives, we've got Martin O'Flaherty saying what's up, Henpard, Karen Leal, CB. We've got a whole load of questions that will be coming in as well. I'm going to just go past those just to just introduce and say hi to everyone. Tonight we've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to try and keep it brief and make sure that we keep things going and flowing. We may not be able to get up all of the answers and questions to the questions that you asked tonight, but if we cannot get those up tonight, we will try and get back to you. We will be able to answer on the live chat as well on the platforms that you're looking in on, and it's great to welcome you all. So without much further ado, let me pass you over to Mick Ricks, our national officer.
Hi there. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I know we all have busy lives, and many of you have been working today and working very hard. So it's really good that you can join us. And I'm really pleased that some of our national reps are able to join us as well. Hopefully, the vast majority of you will have received your ballot papers last Friday that went out. There are some people who have said that their ballot papers have not arrived. So we've sent out emails to people saying, look, don't worry, if they've not arrived, you send an email to this particular place and then that'll be addressed and a further duplicate will be sent to you. It's quite a simple system to carry it out. So hopefully that will happen. Steve, are you going to put up the slides so we can go through a few of these things? So, it's great to be with everybody. What I just want to say a few words is about winning for members and a number of things that we've done as a union quite recently for colleagues in Hermes. We reckon we've got in excess of £2.5 million back in payments that were owed to couriers, those that we know of and those that came and asked us for our help. And we've had those paid back to couriers. There were people that were thinking that you know, these things were a joke and that we were making things up. But I think people can consistently, you know, tell people that even with the CSAT payments that we've just received for those that claimed them recently, you know, a lot of people have been paid money back. We've got a number of people their rounds back and their work where unfortunately the allegations against them were quite dodgy, or there wasn't proper evidence as well. And there were other things where it was just plain wrong what had happened to individuals. So actually, as a trade union, our reps and you know, Ed and Susie and quite a few other of our national reps, we've got people their work back, and now they are still delivering for Hermes, who wouldn't have been. And we just want to just remind people that 2 years ago, when we signed, when actually we made an agreement with Hermes, that prior to that, Couriers just lost their work at will. They had slashes in their rates taking place, and they never got any money back that they were owed for carrying out their services. So there were lots and lots of things that were wrong, and we've been working hard to try and put these things in place, and that's what we like to talk about. It's about winning for members and about what we can do. So there's a great team that's now being formed nationally, and we've got some great reps that have really come forward nationally to work and be part of the team, and we've got some great local contacts now down the delivery units. We've over 90 people that have come forward saying they wish to be local GMB contacts and are starting to push a number of issues, make themselves known, and talk to fellow members out there about information. So we're absolutely creating a really good network. Do you just want to go back to the slide, please, Steve? Thanks. And you know, and some of the things that we want to go into tonight, again, some of the communications that we've tried to update for people. So on one of the bullet points there, you can see we've created a website area for members, Hermes Notice Board GMB. All you have to do is go into Google, type that in, it will come up, it will take you straight to the Hermes Notice Board for GMB members, or you can do it off the website. It's very interactive, it's very easy to use, and all the information is up on there, especially about pay. And you can see the little ticker tape at the bottom. There's the fullest information. So we're really trying to get as interactive as possible with communications. And again, we've set up GMB regional WhatsApp groups for members so that they can join and converse with each other, talk about the problems, get in touch with the other reps, and we'll be shortly sending out a full list of the national reps from your regions with their names and details and contact numbers on, so that you've got a point of contact. Again, Steve, if we could just go back to that slide, please. Thank you. So what we want to just briefly go through, because we do want to talk about other issues as well. Now, we just want to go through a brief recap on the pay offer for 2020. So if we just go to the next slide, please. So here's a brief overview of the process and negotiation. Ed is going to take you through those first 4 bullet points, and then Susie is going to take you through the next lot of bullet points. So great to have you on, Ed. Over to you, mate.
Can you hear me all right there, mate?
Perfectly.
That's brilliant. Yeah. We've had a few technical issues tonight, but now we're all on. So we're looking at the pay offer, and the monetary payments apply to the workers and SE Plus couriers. Okay. Now there is an extended payment that we didn't want to leave out a lot of couriers with it being late this year rather than dealt with last year. So we negotiated with the company an extended payment. Now for that, and I know a lot of you have been emailing myself and Susie, you need to be an SE Plus courier and a GMB member, and you will qualify for that as well, and that's the extended payment of £250. There's an increase in the collection rate, which I've seen some people on the WhatsApp groups. Is this really significant? A 5% increase in collection rates. Well, just speaking from my own experience, my collections have gone up massively because of COVID. Okay, so that 5%, I think, to a lot of couriers means money in your pocket. It is not a reduction. It's a 5% increase on what we had. Okay, we wanted 100%. Let's be honest, and the company negotiated hard, but we weren't letting them away scot-free. So it's a 5% increase on your collections, which again is a win for couriers. Now on the BYOD, it is going to be included in the model, which is the way your rate is calculated. But can I just say one thing? And I know Mick said it in the past. We do really need to keep this in our minds. We are the only couriers, and I think Mick said globally. I said it in Europe, that have this payment. Some of Mick's friends are still taking a case in the Netherlands to try and win this. We've already got it. Now a lot of people have said, it's less than half a pence. If you work it out on 80 parcels, I think it comes out at about £7.68 a month. Pay period. Now, the question, I think you will get that back in, rates have to go up, it's as simple as that. And we will be keeping an eye on that, okay? And I think that one of the big wins is we've heard a lot of noise that it's taking a lot of time for couriers to upgrade. There are many, many misbands that we're seeing. So I think doubling the admin payment from £5 a day to £10 a day is a big win for couriers. And I know some of you heard Susie last week saying it's worth £1,400 a year. And again, I'd never thought about it. And when we were doing our little podcast, so I think Susie pointed out it could be a van insurance for the year, it could be a council tax for the year. That is the money that now the GMB have won for you. Okay, I think all of those four things I've been through is a win for couriers. I don't think anybody can argue that. And I think it's over to you then, Susie.
Okay, so changes to the holiday system. As you probably all are aware, the current holiday system means that we have to book in either week or 2 week blocks, and we're entitled to 3 single days during the year. The changes to the holiday system will remove the need to block in week or 2 weekly blocks, and will also remove the cap on the amount of single days holidays that a courier can take. So if you so wish, you can take 28 single days throughout the year, less your bank holidays, obviously, which are set to one side. We've also got the £350 cash payment for SE Plus and workers. Now that was effective from the 9th of June last year, which is when this pay claim is from. So all those workers and SE Plus couriers prior to the 9th of June will be entitled to the £350. On top of that, all the workers and SE Plus couriers, as long as you are a GMB member before the 11th of March, not June as in the slide, there'll be a £250 payment as well. And the final thing, which I think is one of the most important parts of the pay claim, is protection against rate cuts for all worker and SE Plus couriers, and that is effective until February next year. As we all know, this is the time of year when Hermes come along and start looking at pay cuts, and this will actually offer some protection to your income until next February. That's me.
Wonderful. I'm just going to open up. There's a series of questions that have come in, and I think it would be probably a great idea to get some of these answered, because they're going to start to come in thick and fast. I'm going to just quickly bring up This one comes from Paul Quinn. He's asked two separate questions. One is, will there be a bonus payment to Lifestyle GMB members? And I know there was a further question from Paul saying hi from Northern Ireland. But the other question he was asking was, can you still claim for CSTAT payments as well? So I figured it'd be best to combine both of those quickly if somebody would like to answer.
Well, it was quite widely pointed out to people that the CSAT payments that were in the supplemental agreement, which is an agreement between GMB and Hermes for the worker status and the SE Plus couriers, actually ended on the 28th of January. So that was the closing date for those claims, and we really did pump that out. So really sorry that that unfortunately that ship has sailed. There were some people who have been able to prove that they sent us an email, but for some reason the systems didn't allow that email through. We've looked at those and we've spoken to the company about that, but they're not entertaining any of the claims on that. The other point I think is about the lifestyle. Now, I just really want to explain this to people because I think to some people it's becoming a bit of an issue, and there are some people that have made some stories up on this. Let me be really quite clear so people can get this. GMB Union is allowed to negotiate for workers and for SE Plus couriers. Lifestyle couriers made it quite clear in the beginning that they wanted to conduct their own negotiations. They thought they were on better rates, and that is how they wanted to stay. So anything to do with pay with lifestyle couriers, they do that themselves. And we made a promise to lifestyle couriers we would never interfere in that. And as a person of my word, I'm not going to break my word. Now, obviously, now that people have seen that GMB have negotiated a pay offer with the company, that obviously they want a pay offer. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. So what we can advise lifestyle couriers, there's two choices. One is you can come across and join SE Plus, and you will get all the benefits of worker status, voluntary worker status. It's what we negotiated with the company. 28 days paid annual leave, protection if you for your rounds, and cover if you're sick, protection if you have to take bereavement leave, all the good aspects of the agreement, guaranteed payments as well, admin payments, things like that, guaranteed clauses around this, around a number of areas. So, and one of the things that also has been negotiated is if people accept this deal, the company have guaranteed as well that people's rates will be protected. So I have to ask people, and I've said this often again, I get if a lifestyle courier with more than 4 rounds wants to stay where they are, that's fine. And by the way, we still represent you. We still represent you. We've represented hundreds of couriers that are lifestyle couriers. We've kept them their pay, we've kept them their rounds, and we've got them their work back. That's not a problem. But we cannot negotiate on behalf of them. The agreements are quite clear, and our promise is quite clear on this. So if you do want us to negotiate for you, and you want all the other benefits that other SE Plus couriers and worker status couriers have got, then come across to SE Plus. We'll happily negotiate for you, and we will deal with it on that basis. And so I just want people just to be really clear about this. And just one final point. This trade union, we took Hermes to court for worker status, for paid holidays, for the right to have holidays, for the right to be treated properly and have proper procedures. What the SE Plus agreement with the company is voluntary worker rights. Exactly what we won in the courts. So if people don't want those rights, which they're entitled to have, then that's fine. But when it comes to negotiations of your own pay rates, you have to negotiate your own, because we have kept our word. So I hope that is clear. Ed, Susie, do you want to say anything on the back of that as well?
I'll come in there because, again, I was the one that worked with you, Mick, on the SE Plus agreement. And we're very proud of that agreement.
Exactly.
And I will defend that. Is it perfect? No. But don't forget, it's an agreement. We have already renegotiated changes to that agreement, like routes optimization. We've had negotiated out some of the changes through the payoff for this year. We'll change that agreement, such as the holiday. I think it's down now to each individual courier. If you want my opinion, you make a choice. Okay. I know people have said, and I've seen something in the comments there. Which couriers, which lifestyle, was it done through a poll? Was it done with the authority of who? It was actually done at a request of the members. Okay. Yeah. And let's be very clear. The GMB is all about its members. Okay. You may not have been a member at the time. You may have not even, I mean, there's people now who don't even know what SE Plus is about. But the members at the time asked me and Mick, and I got the emails as well. We do not want any interference by the GMB in our rates, in our negotiations with the company. We are sticking to that. Okay. Now, the reason we can stick to that is because myself and Mick worked with Carl and Hugo and various members of the senior management, and we got SE Plus. I don't see a problem. If you want, like Mick said, if you want to do your own negotiations, we're going to let you do that. Okay. We're not going to interfere. If you want us to negotiate for you, like we've done for the pay offer, then it's SE Plus. Okay. We are not running a pick and mix. Okay. That I want to be lifestyle, but I want a little bit of that and a little bit of that and a little bit of that from SE Plus. No, it's a package deal. And we think, and I know Mick will agree, and I know Susie and Steve will agree, because Steve, let's be honest with you, Steve's an SE Plus courier. Okay. I think we will all agree, all of us, that it is absolutely beneficial to the courier. It gives you protections. I mean, who doesn't want 28 days paid holiday? Can I be truthful with you? Yeah. I've had holiday recently. Mm-hmm. I've sat at home and I have been paid £150 a day for doing nothing. Okay. Hey, if anybody wants to turn that down, then I think you better negotiate your own rates, because I'm quite happy where I am. But the benefits to the SE Plus courier, let's face it, if you're ill, now let's face it, every one of us gets ill. It's human nature, okay, that you get ill, okay? The thing is, as a lifestyle courier, you've got to sort out your own protections, okay? Right. Or you risk losing your work. SE Plus couriers, you are absolutely protected under that, and it's without limitation, which is something absolutely unique, and that was something even the company offered. So look, I'm going to be very clear with you. It's a clear choice. Stay lifestyle, or for me, move to SE Plus. I don't know what your thoughts are, Susie.
Mine, I think, my personal opinion, I can't understand why anybody wouldn't move to SE Plus. Yeah. That's all I've got to say. I can't understand why people aren't moving to SE Plus.
I just want to bring Steve in here. And there's a reason for this. You see, Steve was a lifestyle courier. So was Susie, and so was Ed. They were lifestyle couriers. And Steve was a lifestyle courier, and he was one of the first to switch to SE Plus. Steve, can you just explain what is the difference in the work that a lifestyle does, that an SE Plus courier does, and a worker status courier? What is the difference in work that they do? But what are the differences in the benefits that worker status and SE Plus couriers get? Can you just explain a few of those things, Steve?
Well, the work is identical, basically, but SE Plus, you are protected. You know me, I was lifestyle. I'm on,
No, we can hear you,
You know,
Steve.
no,
No,
right,
we can hear
okay. Yeah, no, I went to SE Plus, and to be fair, it's the best thing I've ever done. Holiday pay, unbelievable. I mean, if you worked for a company, maximum, if you say for argument's sake, you worked at Tesco's, maybe what, £150 a week, maybe 200 maximum. I had a week's holiday, SE Plus, nearly 700, £800 for a week's holiday. It's a no-brainer to me. It really is a no-brainer. You know, I've been off ill. Well, not ill. I damaged my knee. I told them, the company, I let them know. I put it on Marketplace and I put it in the internal WhatsApp to protect my work so the company could see that I was trying to protect it. They were fine. They come back, said, your run's covered. Take as much time as you need. When you come back, your run will be there for you. Now, lifestyle, you can't do that. You've got to find your cover. And as God made little green apples, if you don't find that cover, they will pull that run off of you. You've got no protection whatsoever. Me, I've been off, maybe getting on 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I've got no problem. My work's being covered, and it will be covered until the time I go back. So again, for me, it's a no-brainer. SE Plus all the way, as far as I'm concerned. And I think anyone that doesn't take SE Plus, they really seriously need to be thinking about it, because, as I say, you're covered. You're basically covered on everything.
Sorry, Steve.
So I was going to try, because there's quite a lot of questions coming. I wanted to just put one or two up and see whether we can get some answers to those, because I'm mindful that there's other slides to be covered off, and I want to make sure we give everyone as much of a voice as possible tonight. Obviously, there's this one here about retail partners going to standardised packet rates will maybe reduce the net monthly wage. Is that right? What do we think? I know that there may be a second viewpoint on that. There's a point that's been brought up, basically that some couriers have had percentage money taken off. If you're SE Plus, I think we really need to know about it. If you're lifestyle, that's going to be a different story. So I might ask you to speak to that. I'm going to put one more up. Which says we're not allowed in warehouse where cages are brought to us. How do we go about getting cover for cages? So if I go with those 3 points, because I'm just so mindful, there's lots and lots of questions here, lots of hellos from people as well, that just because we've deluged here, I want to make sure we cover as much as we can.
Okay, can I just take the question that's on screen there, Steve, about the being in the warehouse? Can I just point out that the national reps with Mick, as soon as lockdown and COVID started to come in, we met with the company and we did one thing. We didn't worry about pay, we worried about courier safety, okay? That you could all deliver and go to the DUs in safety. And one of the reasons is you don't go into your DU is for social distancing, okay? And as far as the covers, if anybody is on here tonight who is in a DU who has not seen the rain covers, and we've covered this in our DCFs and in national meetings, can you let me or Susie know, please, or Barry or one of your other national reps? We really need this sorting, because these rain covers have been bought and they've disappeared out of DUs. So if you haven't got them, let us know, please.
We heard today that some of them are actually being taken and used to tote parcels in. So some people thought they were extra large totes, basically. This question about the parcel rates, I think, is something we've also touched on.
I think just before we come to that, because this is going to be a little bit of a more complex answer. There's a great question here from Peterborough Magnet Fishing UK. Wow, what a title that is. Are GMB sorting the fast track over to SE Plus? And answer is yes. All those people that have sent us their details, they've all been submitted to the company to sign up for SE Plus, and that is quite a lot of couriers that we've done that for. Susie, do you want to talk about this one in terms of the the packet issue and that we've had a question that's come up on that. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, please?
Is that the standardization?
Yes, because I mean, I think it's Paul that's put up saying that somebody has posed a point there, basically saying that people are going to be losing 15% of their earnings and things like that. Do you just want to go through this, Susie? Because you're really good at explaining this to people.
As it stands on the 1.4 kilos, the loss would be negligible, but due to the standardization of the clients, what that means is the clients that have a business account that goes through C2C, they can currently get away with sending packets over 1.3 kilos for under 2 kilos, and they can send them out as packets. With the standardization, all of their parcels that are packets will have to go through at 1.4. So anything over the 1.4 will then be upgraded to a standard. So a courier will probably not actually lose anything. In fact, they may be slightly better off.
Brilliant.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question here. The sub-owner is apparently being looked at due to the amount of upgrades being put through. There's one about no rate cuts for SE Plus, just no rate cuts there. Just putting some of these up because there are loads. What we can't answer tonight, we'll go back into the feed and we will try and get answers for you from the reps. But there will be a lot of questions coming in tonight. Kirsty Ives has said still no SE contract received. Why is ETA and SOS going down to £1.50?
It's not. It's not. It's going up. So actually, and there's a question there from Paul Allen, and he's asking us: is anybody from the GMB looking at these questions? The answer is yes. We're reading them and we're answering them. So yes, we are, Paul.
Okay, can I come in there, Mick? Paul Allen's got a point there. We should be having rate rises and not just protecting from cuts. Actually, you ask most couriers, Paul, they will want protection from cuts. If you don't, fine. I'll let you CDM know that you're quite happy to have cuts on your rate. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, I just think that's a really silly point. Couriers have asked us, begged us, right? I'm a courier too. I do not want, right, pay cuts on my rate. But can I just point out to you, Paul, I've just gone through the fact that your collection rate will be going up. The admin payments will be going up. Are these not an increase in the money in your pocket? Simple as that. But we will always seek to protect the money that couriers earn. That is the first and foremost thing we must do.
Tracy, just to let you know, we are going to touch on the new marsh insurance later in the broadcast, so it's not forgotten. Just going to go quickly to this one as well. Is your collection rate as your standard rate? As we get a 5% pay rise from Gary Toynton. Just a thank you from Gillian here as well. And another one here about from Jamie McCulloch in relation to upgrades and parcel issues. So I know these are all some of the things that people are bringing up. Barry Stanley is also following in tonight. So if you do look in the chat, you will see his email address there. Evening, Barry.
Jason is as well from the Southwest. Jason has put a comment in there saying he'll answer some questions as well for people. Jason, can you put your email in there so that people can also contact you from the Wales and Southwest region? Great to have you on along with Barry.
Okay, can I just answer this one, Steve? Because it has come up a lot of times in the forum.
Yeah,
I've asked multiple times, will all couriers be paid the new data allowance? Right. It is not strictly a payment. It goes into the calculation for your rates, okay? And it will apply to all couriers, okay? We've said it so many times. It goes into the calculation that's made up that makes up your rates and the model that does that in the calculation. But it applies to all couriers. Again, it actually applies to those who are lifestyle.
Question here for Sam Graham as well, that they signed the contract but didn't get the email. Where does Sam stand and some of the others who signed up then?
Well, the cut-off date was the 9th of June. But what clearly happened there was that the person applied well before June. And if they've got those emails and things like that, look, I can't promise you that we will be successful. But if you want to send it to us, we will have a look and see if we can get you to qualify for that payment. I don't know if it will, but you've got to give us the proof for doing it. If you haven't got anything in black and white, then we can't do it on hearsay. But you know, we understand there are some people that are on the cusp, and we also understand there were people that were deliberately held over past June as well. And we're doing something for those people that have come forward.
Just on this one, Steve, is it worth going SE Plus if you're 3 days a week? Absolutely. You still get the same protections. You will get the holiday pay. Your holiday's pro rata. But remember, you may not earn or accrue the 28 days.
So I think people misunderstand. Yeah, I think it's 25. I think it's 25 days if you're 3 day courier. I'm pretty sure it's.
What it is, when you're doing it pro rata, please remember that if you're only working 3 days a week, you only need 3 days a week to have a week's holiday. And that confuses some people. It will. I think it'll be a lot more clear when we can book single days, because at the moment you have to book 6 days to get 3 days holiday pay, which is a bit odd at the minute. But you only get paid and need to have the accrual taken off you for the days you would have actually worked that week. So if you're 3 days, definitely worth going SE Plus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This question that's coming from Terence Higgins is quite an important one. Now, some of you elsewhere in the country won't know what a ULEZ zone is, but it's an ultra-low emission zone. And the London Mayor's brought it in, but you're going to see more and more of these coming throughout the country, whether it's Leeds, Southampton, Birmingham and the like. I think it's a good question. And Terence, all I can tell you is I've been dealing with ULEZ since the very beginning for private hire and taxi in London, and I think it's something we will need to take to management as in essence a tax comes in. A lot of employers, when their staff go into a low emission zone, I have to pay the congestion charge, factor that cost in. So I think it is a discussion we'll have to have with the company, because obviously if you are having to go into another zone and that is a cost, somebody has to cover that for you to be able to make it. It's no good if you're paying out, in excess of 20 odd quid a day before you even get going to try and then earn a living off the back of everything else with the parcels, because that's basically creating a loss. So be assured that we've got an RCDF tomorrow, and then we'll have some more, and then I think it might have to go up from national from Ed.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be absolutely truthful. I don't know. We've never discussed them with the company, but we would not expect that Couriers would foot that cost themselves. But me, Mick, and the national reps, when we get more information, we will be sitting down with the company to negotiate that again for our SE Plus members.
There's a further question from Peter Bermagnet about the fast track to SE Plus. About chasing CDMs as well.
No, don't chase your field teams. Can I be honest with you? No. There's a lot of field teams do not want USC Plus. They will bog you down. Okay, do not do that. If you are on our list, and you will have probably had a reply from me saying you're on the list. If not, double check with us. We will let you know straight away. If you're on our list, the company have that list. I know some people have said on it tonight. I think it was Kirsty Ives, I think, said still no contract yet. Please don't worry about it. There has been a hiccup in the SE Plus system from the company side. I think it went live again yesterday late afternoon. They will be processing those contracts as soon as they get around to them. But our list is in, and those will be processed.
Amanda's raised a question here, Steve, as well. and it's about the size of the packets. People are complaining that they're getting huge boxes, and they're actually the weight of a packet. Because of what's taken place. Amanda, if we could just explain to you what's going on. It's not just unique to Hermes. It's right across the patch. So, for instance, Amazon, they will send out a huge box with a small thing inside. It's to do with the pandemic and the cardboard usage and cardboard being sent to companies and people using up their old supply and things like that. It's been a big problem now for 12 months. And you're right. I mean, we've seen some huge boxes and, and perhaps a couple of kilograms just inside those boxes. So you're right. Nobody can do anything about this at the moment because it's the way that the industry overall is working. It's a complete and utter waste, actually. And there may be another thing. I think Ed, we've tried to examine this. We think some companies may be getting rid of their cardboard and passing it on to other people, so they don't have to get rid of it themselves as companies.
Yeah. Just to come in on that packet thing again, can we make it very clear? The company wanted 2 kilogram packets. Now we said, now that would honestly, now Susie will back me up on this because Susie's our human calculator. The losses to Couriers was eye-watering, and I mean eye-watering. I think even on 1.8 when we rejected the offer for 2K, I was going to lose something like 1,800 a year. Bob, who I don't know if he's watching tonight, our Scottish national rep, he was set to lose about £2,400 a year. Eye-watering amounts. We did not let the company get away with that. The one thing we did ask for was the DIMS. Now the company were quite clear. For 2K packets, we can't reduce the DIMS. So we didn't let them get away with 2K packets. It's as simple as that. And we negotiated down, not up.
Andre, what's going on with rate reviews? Still waiting for mine 4 months on. We just got to keep pushing them. So let me and my colleagues know, and we'll push again and find out why this has got lost in the system, because these should have been dealt with, and you're right.
Right. Can I just give a bit of advice on that, Mick?
Yeah.
If you have been waiting for a rate review, forget it. Okay, forget all about it. Don't worry about the one that's gone in. There is now a new system, and it's called service negotiation.
That's
Literally,
right,
go on to your service negotiation, do it through that. Now, I was assured on Monday in our national meeting with the company that all field managers, CDMs, are monitored on their performance of getting through those service negotiations. Okay, they are monitored by the company. Okay, if a CDM is not getting those through, either moving you on to SE Plus, getting your rate negotiation through, the CDMs themselves will be audited and they will come under fire from the senior management.
Okay, that's a really important point, Ed. And I'm sorry about this, colleagues. I wasn't able to attend Monday's meeting, so I'm just a little bit behind with the information there. So what we'll do is we'll get that down. We'll put that in a bulletin, and we'll send that out to colleagues through the email on a national bulletin. So you've got that information, and you can go to the correct point to get that.
Just before you go, Stephen Whittingham, if you can email any of the people's email addresses that you've seen either in the chat or on when they come up later, please let us know which the depot is, and we can have a look into that. Just putting up Bob Law's email address. Emma's has come up. I will try and put these up again. I'm mindful that Joe Fraser said, and there is a problem with some CDMs, we think, but this one's a very interesting one that Joe Fraser's put in. I figure that it just is notable for a comment for those reasons.
Right. Okay. Can I be absolutely honest with you, Steve? I've spoken to Dan, who's one of the lawyers at Hermes. I've also spoken to Connor on several occasions. No point have they said they are not honouring these contracts. Okay, I suspect that again is another CDM that all they've done is delay you 3 months. Yeah, that's effectively what they've done. But now under the new system, they themselves are now being monitored. Because let's be honest, it's not only the GMB that want SE Plus, the senior management do as well. And I think Mick's said in the past, we think there's now starting to be a bit of a battle between the senior management who really want this and are absolutely behind the GMB. You know, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Sadly, the CDMs who have to cover your rounds every day. I mean, like the CDM that's having to cover Steve's round while he's off because he's injured his knee. They don't want the work. Okay, they would rather you stay lifestyle and you cover your round. So if you're ill, you have to get the cover or you lose your work. It's much easier for them. So the answer is very simple. Go SE Plus.
Can I just say on that front, I mean, everyone on this broadcast who's broadcasting out to you tonight has seen a very specific WhatsApp message from a CDM, which, frankly, I can tell you when we're in a meeting tomorrow, is going to be like a little touch paper, because it just shows the attitude that individual's taken. I've got separate screenshots from this individual.
Oh, gosh. You're freezing, Steve.
You're freezing, Steve.
Oh dear, Steve. You need to put a shilling in the meter, mate.
It's just the amount of stuff I've got open on my screen, I think, Steve,
you do us a favour. Can we go one of the slides again, please? Because I'm conscious of time, and I know we need to move on to some of the other subjects, because obviously there's a lot more than this, and there's lots of new members that have joined us over the last couple of weeks. And firstly, I really want to say to the 1,100 couriers that have joined us in the last 2 weeks, thank you for joining the GMB family. I hope that we're going to have many happy years together, building a collective within Hermes. And it's really good to have you on board. The more strength that everybody has, the better the protection that they have. And you can see on this slide here, these are our members sending in photographs of posters that they've made, basically saying why they are voting yes. And Steve, if you just want to move on, because that's a fantastic slide there. And what we also want to do is we want to talk about a number of things with you. So we pride ourselves on giving members a GMB voice, and that handsome-looking lad in the corner in the photograph with "I'm voting yes" post. That is Bob Law, who's one of our national reps from GMB Scotland. It was Bob that designed that poster. And it's gone down really, really well with lots of people. So thanks again, Bob. So we've committed that every second Tuesday in the month, we will hold a virtual meeting with everybody. When the lockdown is released as well, you will start to see GMB full-time officers going to sites, speaking to people at delivery units, talking to people, finding out what problems that they've got, and then feeding these back to your national reps, so that the issues can be raised properly internally within the company. So you are going to see the continuation of these meetings. This is the third online live meeting that we've done in the last couple of weeks. And every second Tuesday, put it in your diaries. That will be done there. Again, what we'll also be doing once this pay ballot is out of the way, and I really do hope that people vote yes in huge numbers. And there's a genuine reason for that, because there have been people that have missed out because of either joining the union or becoming SE Plus after the date. As soon as we've put this ballot to one side, we will then be consulting members again, because we have another negotiation in June this year. And so we'll be consulting what the people want to see us do. What do they want to see in any negotiation package that we want to put forward to the company on behalf of GMB members. So we'll be sending out surveys. We'll also be sending out some surveys later on in the year about, you know, how people have been affected working through COVID and the pandemic and things like that. We're hearing all sorts of horror stories with people with long COVID, and also people that have unfortunately developed mental illness because of what's taken place. So we're really also mindful about those issues. And again, just want to remind people, we will be consulting you on any pay that we negotiate with the company. We will then consult with you again. So we'll be doing another ballot. So we'll be coming to people a lot, talking to you about, you know, how can we improve your world of work? That's really important to you. And of course, we also want to set up a special meeting with lifestyle couriers who have 4 rounds or less, because actually, you know, I get there are some lifestyle couriers that don't want to become SE plus, not because they don't want the benefits or anything like that. Actually, some of them are not bothered about having the rounds anymore. But we've tried to warn what's coming down the track, and we think that people have not been honest with lifestyle couriers in the company on the ground. And we think you deserve a special conversation, because some people are walking into a nightmare situation with this company, and the company will take people's rounds off them as they convert to the new systems going forward. So we really want to protect people and give people an honest opinion and an honest choice, so that they are protected. And, you know, and we want to reach out to more couriers as well. You know, we believe in collectivism. We believe in strength in numbers. Gets better treatment. It creates dignified work. It creates respectful work. You know that for the last 12 months, at various times, people have stepped out onto the doorsteps, clapping key workers. If it wasn't for key workers, the economy would have tanked a long time ago. If it wasn't for key workers delivering to people that were shielding or had to isolate, there would have been a lot of horrendous cases in this country. And we believe, as key workers, it's not just a saying, it's actually become a life. And, you know, and when you look at all the key workers in the country, from care workers to people that work in the NHS to, refuse workers, to people that are working in ambulances and the fire brigade, to lots of other people that have had no time off during this pandemic. And to you as couriers, a clap is not just essential. You know, it is good for morale, but actually you're worth more than a clap, and you deserve to be treated, with far more respect and dignity than what you are, both by Hermes and also some people out there that just take what you do for a living, and people just take it for granted. So giving GMB members a voice, giving them a platform, is what we're about, and hopefully you're going to see quite a lot more of that taking place again over the next few months, as we involve people in these surveys and other issues. And I know Ed, Susie and Steve, you want to come in and say a few things on this as well.
For me, Mick, I'll be honest with you, by far the most important thing for me is that each and every one of our members has a voice, okay? Without that, we have no GMB, okay? Because the GMB is its members, okay? Each and every one of you watching in tonight that turn up for your depots every day, the members are absolutely the centre of everything we do, okay? Mick's gone on about the new pay claim coming right down the line, and me and Susie have been working on some of the timelines, and yeah, it is right down the line. So you've joined at the right time. Okay, it's you that tell us what you want in the pay claim. Me, Mick, and Susie, and Barry, and Steve don't get together in a little closed room going, "Tell you what, we'll think of this. We'll put this." No. None of that happens. We will be contacting you, so you tell us what you want in the pay claim. Okay. And that's the most important thing I can say to you. It is your voice that counts. Without your voice, we wouldn't be here.
Thanks very much for that, Ed. I think it's really, really tip top, commentary. Some other points have come in. Somebody asked earlier how to become a rep. Right into any of us. You can see the email addresses on the system here. You're very welcome to put yourself forward. Martin O'Flaherty, London region. Yes, we have got a legal team. I'm going to talk about legal shortly. I'm going to go over some of those points later because some other things have come up during the week. Jason Forrow's got his email address just here to reach out to him also. So nice comment from JC Beeson. Obviously, we have got still a lot of questions over rounds and the like. This one's very interesting from Jill Godfrey. Our CDM says if we don't work Easter Monday, we'll have to ask a question as to what we would be doing that day if we were still in lockdown. Frankly, I don't even know how to answer. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Sorry, Steve. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was just absolutely gobsmacked that a CDM thinks they have the right to ask that question. Okay? I'm gone. Look, let's be honest with you. The bank holiday is voluntary. Okay, if you don't want to work it, you don't work it. It's as simple as that. And can I just? And I know we keep harping on about SE Plus, but actually, if you're SE Plus, you get paid for the day off as well.
Yeah, you get average earnings. You get average earnings on that day.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? And I'm going to be really truthful. I'm going to be sat at home, and I'm going to be earning my holiday pay. I'm not going anywhere. And I make that quite clear. But I will be getting average earnings for that day, as I think you will, won't you, Steve?
Yep, I won't be working the bank holiday Monday. I will be sitting at home with my legs up, resting my knee. But yeah, no, I will be off on that day.
There's a great question that's come up from Mark Cookson here. Can the GMB get Hermes to look at developing an option to upgrade parcels on the app? No, we can hear you, Steve. Trust me. Steve, we can hear you. Trust me.
My other half is sitting here saying she can't hear me. She can't hear me.
That's because she's in the same blooming room.
She's in the same blooming room. Yeah.
What can I say? This question from Mark is whether they could find a way, or we could ask Hermes to look at a route to save the faffing about changing to coal and copying the barcode, etc. I think that's an idea that could be run potentially.
Can I be honest with you, Steve? It's already been talked about. That a lot of the stuff is now going to go through the new app as we move on to our own phones. So I think even most of Colt, as we all know at COL, all that's going to move onto the app as well. So you've got it in your hand, and you can update, you can upgrade as you do your parcels on the morning. That's the whole idea. It will be a lot simpler. And don't forget, while you're doing it, we've now, if the pay claim goes through, we now will have doubled the amount you can earn as well.
Yeah. A lot of what I'm seeing here, there's two other things that have come up. Clearly, there is a problem still over rain covers. There's been quite a lot of comments about a lot of people without rain covers. Clearly, that's one thing. SE Plus applications. And I think the other thing that's coming up consistently is CDM's behaviour. You come to work for you and yours. You come to work to put food on the table. These people need to treat you with the respect that they would expect to be treated with. if they're not treating you respectfully, we need to know about it, because meanies, people who are filled with hate, people who victimise, people who aim to hurt, do not deserve to get the same treatment that they mete out. They deserve to get worse.
But I think Rachel, Steve's just put it on there. Tell the CDM it's called family time.
Yeah.
And let's face it, that is the one thing that we all know. And I mean, I know when me and Mick were looking at the SE Plus and negotiating it, it's the one thing we both said. We want people to be able to spend time with their loved ones rather than delivering parcels. I mean, me and you were in a meeting, weren't we, Steve, where we heard of a courier 7 days a week, not finishing until 10 o'clock at night. That's not good. That is not good. It's not right. You know, we deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, and that includes having time with our families.
Could I just speak to that member very briefly? Because the story we heard the other day was shocking, because this person got a message from their CDM. They were in hospital. They'd worked till late at night, just near Christmas. They were in hospital. They got a message that if you do not come in, you will lose your rounds. They discharged themselves from hospital. This is not a story. And at 6 a.m, they were leaving the hospital, strapping themselves up so they could then come in and deliver. Frankly, it still makes me very emotional now to hear a story like that.
Yeah, me too.
It is. And Steve, there's a really good question from the windmill man regards SE Plus. And if CDMs are not the people to speak to and Hermes are not responding, look, can we just say to everybody, please, Susie and Ed are keeping a spreadsheet of everybody that comes in. All you need to do is email your details, your courier ID, what delivery unit, if that helps as well, and send that to both Ed and Susie, and ask them to assist. There is an email to do this, but at the moment something's gone wrong with it this week, and we have raised it with the company. So come to us. We'll help get that moving for you.
And just a point, if they have problems getting it to Ed or Susie, email it to any of the reps, and we can just forward it on to Ed and Susie.
Yeah.
There's a question. If you're a worker, you work on the bank holiday Monday, will you still get paid the holiday pay if you work it?
No, it's very clear. If you work it, you get paid your deliveries. But the thing is, you then don't lose a day's accrual. If you want to take the time off to spend with your family, you will then get paid holiday pay, and you will lose a day's accrual. That gives you the time to spend with your family and have a long weekend.
I just wanted to draw everyone's attention before I pass back to Mick, just to the that link again. It's a very long link, but if you actually search GMB Hermes notice board, it will come up again. Just to let you know, there was the question about legal helplines. I will touch on this shortly, but basically, GMB does have the largest union in law firm, should I say, in the country with Union Line. We also have Blackford solicitors who back up on criminal law as well for London region, and that does cover for other regions as well. I will touch on that, and I know we also have questions in relation to Marsh and a new insurance policy. Mick, just before we go on, would it be a very quick apt time to mention something that came up this week with one of the couriers in relation to dog bites? So I just want to draw to everyone's attention this week. One of our members got in touch to say that they'd been bitten by a dog whilst on their rounds.
I think it was an Alsatian.
The situation is this: because Union Line is also linked with CWU, and postal workers have generally receive dog bites. The largest amount of claims our union law firm deals with is basically dog bites or animal bites whilst out working. contact Union Line or contact your regional rep. If you have been bitten, we have a personal injury claim system. The union is there to protect you on this, along with all of the other benefits that the union has, which we will touch on later. You have a facility to make a claim, and that also covers verbal and physical assault. If you're verbally assaulted by somebody, you need to let somebody know. It might be apt not to deliver to that home anymore to stop those people from doing what they're doing to you. And physical assault, again, if a claim needs to be made, that is what Union Line is there for. Contact any of your reps and let us know. You deserve the right to have quality of life and quality of working life.
Absolutely, Steve, and I think there's a lot of couriers that have been bitten by dogs, and I'm one of them, Steve. And it's not a pleasant experience.
Paul, I've seen your message up there. I've just flashed it up on the screen. Paul, please get in touch with your region, and obviously they'll put you in touch with Union Line. A claim has to be made. You don't go out to be bitten. It's just not right. So. Graham, I'm not too sure what I was saying before I was cut off, but either way, you can always reach back to me via email. My email shows on the system.
There's two really good questions here, just very briefly, Steve. One from Andre Bamford and one from Paula Oliver. Andre, you've just given a great example why people should go SE Plus. Because it gives you peace of mind, it protects your rounds and protects your work. I think people need to remember what happened to Don Lane, who was a DPD courier, who died 3 years ago, because we raised all these issues. That is how come we got a clause in the agreement that protects people from exceptional circumstance, sickness, and bereavement, and one or two other issues as well. And we've had a colleague this week who had a really massive burglary, lots of things stolen, his vehicle and everything else. He's SE Plus, and basically he was told to come into work the next day. I've actually said, you're under an exceptional circumstance. Everything that you've got has been stolen, and there is no way you can get this sorted out on a weekend. And really, that is an exceptional circumstance. All your tools, everything has been taken, and and that is what the agreement is. Not there to be abused and for silly stories to be made up. It is there for when people need it. And Paula asked a question about still some lifestyle couriers are being told they have to enter into a negotiation by the CDMs. Well, that's always been the case. That has always been the case, that rate negotiations can take place. It's there within the contracts. By the same token, lifestyle couriers can ask for a rate review if they want as well in those issues. So, yes, those rate negotiations are not going to stop. And I think what it is in some respects, Paula, is some people have hedged their bets a little bit, and they've left it a little bit too long. Unfortunately, they made a choice, and sometimes the gamble doesn't pay off, does it? And there's very little that anybody can do except that ensure that there is a fair process in what is taking place. And we have said we will assist people to ensure that there's a fair process, but there's very little that we can do other than negotiation. Because, lifestyle couriers negotiate their own rates.
Darren, we've seen this message. Can you reach back to us? We need to know about this urgently. This is supposed the WhatsApp groups are a safe space. We don't want people misusing them. There's very specific social media rules that I put up to everyone. We need to actually. Can I just tell Mark Brooks that if you're a full-time member, it's £14.57 a month. You may be able to take this off your tax as well, based on the fact that you're a self-employed individual. So you might be able to actually then take that back. Obviously, for those of you when we're negotiating the rates next year, it's going to be a small price to pay. Mick, sorry. Or Ed.
I just you've just read out something that's very important. I want to make this quite clear. You know, the GMB WhatsApp groups are private, and they are private on the basis that our members have asked to be put into those groups. We don't automatically put people into those WhatsApp groups for your GMB regions unless the member asks. And there's a reason for that, because there's a GDPR issue. And those numbers will be public in that group. So everybody has to respect that because of the GDPR rules. And what you just said, that people in management have got access to someone's group. I want the person who's put this, I want you to contact me privately. I want to know the details, because we're making it quite clear what happens in those WhatsApp groups. The conversations between GMB members are a matter for GMB members. We obviously want to tell people that comments that you make should always be respectful. You are talking to fellow GMB members. Bad behaviour will not be tolerated. We've removed one or two people because they've had bad behaviour and they've not been respectful to some people, so they've been removed. And yes, one or two people are very well. They've done one or two silly things where they've mentioned people, the names and stuff like that. Again, we're not doing that, and we just want people to do things right. But I want to know who is it in management that have got access to those groups, because
I'm aware of it, Mick.
Yeah,
I've already had a conversation with
Darren. I'm just making it to everybody. I want to know who it is, because the person that's showing that person in management, those WhatsApp groups, I'm going to tell you before this evening's over, will be removed from that group.
Yes, absolutely.
Sam, there seems to be some questions over this, because certainly private hire and taxi drivers, when we've dealt with companies like Driver Tax and the like, seem to have been able to allow the deduction to take place. I think you're talking about the VAT deduction on the membership, which is a slightly different thing. We are looking into the HMRC thing as well, I can tell you that. And that's a matter more for myself and Mika on the union side rather than the rep side. Barry Stanley has offered to send the round number, should be the depot's name. He'll get back into your RDCF and sort it. We do the RDCF meetings at least once a month. Paula, if you just email us any of the email addresses you see on the signage right now, that would be great. And obviously, I think the other point I just want to come back to, because we did touch on it briefly, was these rain covers as well, because obviously they're supposed to have gone out to everyone. If they haven't, then
it's a bit like the PPE. It's a bit like the PPE. It was a bit hit and miss. It was a bit hit and miss.
A bit more missing places, Mick.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That PPE, including the hand sanitizer, is not just for the CDM. And I have seen a message from the person, can owners and managers of ducks basically join the GMB to support them against bullying and harassment. Look, dignity in the workplace is a two-way street, and no one deserves to be mistreated. There is a question, though, because I've come across some behaviours by ducks, which is very reprehensible. And once you're starting
those that are on the pond,
yes, DUCs, depot unit controllers, basically, if you believe there is a problem and if you want us to intercede between yourselves, we can do that to make sure everything is calm. But what I've generally found is it's a two-way street, and sometimes the behaviours are not always perfect. Also, somebody said there's cage cover problems depending on the size of the cage. Also, we discussed today cages that are damaged. If you come across a damaged cage, they can be taken back into the system and replaced.
Photographs and get replaced.
Hand sanitizer. if they are not letting you have hand sanitizers, it's not just for the DUCs, it's for all of you. It's for your protection.
Yeah.
A reminder over face masks. The reason that you've got to wear a face mask is for everyone else's protection. Ed is going to go potty on this, so I'm going to let him talk.
No, look. I think we all agree on here. We were the first. I think we were one of the first in the industry to challenge a delivery company on the safe practices for our members to deliver parcels in. Mick took this very seriously. We went straight to the company, and we wanted our members to be safe. Okay. Now, I cannot understand, unless they are properly exempt, why there are couriers in this network who will not protect their colleagues, okay? Because that's what it's all about. It's protecting each other. We really, really want you to go to work, do it safely, and go home to your loved ones at night. Not to a COVID ward on a ventilator, or worse, eventually a morgue. Okay, I can't put it harder than that. Okay, It is about protecting each other. Okay, now I have had a courier come to me in the last few weeks who has lost his work. Okay, I looked into it. 7 times he was asked to put his face mask on 7 different occasions, and you just went, can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. He cannot be bothered to protect his fellow colleagues. Disgraceful. Okay, now he is without a job. Okay, now that is stupidity. Okay, we have worked hard to make sure what you do is safe. You have to take some personal responsibility. I implore you, protect yourselves and protect those around you. You are key workers. Please think what you're doing. Sorry, Steve. Yeah, you know I'm not. I hate this.
I was going to ask. Paul has asked a good question there. Sorry, Paula. There's that many questions coming in. If we've missed it, Paula, and you've asked it before, do apologise, but we're happy to answer it. Susie, do you want to go answering that question, please?
It's gone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Dave, stop messing around. Leave it. Keep your fingers still. Keep your fingers still.
I was actually moving down to look at the question I wanted to put up next. Pardon me.
Okay.
If a courier instigates a rate review, then there's always going to be the possibility that they're open to a rate reduction. There's no guarantee either way. We can't guarantee that they're not going to get a rate reduction. That's the art of negotiation, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Can I just say on that as well, Susie? I think couriers need to use a little bit of common sense. Okay, we all want our pay to go up, right? But if you know you're on a decent rate and you instigate a negotiation, you've got to be a little bit sensible. We've all been there, we've all done it. Just use a bit of common sense. But yes, I agree with Susie. You can have a rate negotiation and it could reduce your rate. Don't put yourselves at risk. You are now protected if this pay offer goes through. Don't take the risk.
Sharon, can I suggest, because you had several questions over a particular issue, I'm not too sure what region you're based in, but if you could email any of the email addresses you see on here, we'll try and get some answers back to you. I'm mindful that you've got several issues that you've put up. There's a question from Retro Hawk here that
Steve, before you do that, just for Sharon's benefit, sometimes we've got to be careful with our language. When we say region, we know what we're on about. Some members out there, especially new members, because they've joined through the national website, won't have a clue what we're talking about with regions. Go on, Steve. You tell them.
Okay, so basically the United Kingdom is split up into various regions. London region is running this event tonight. London region basically goes all the way from Norwich over towards Milton Keynes, all the way down to Essex, all the way down to London. But believe it or not, London region doesn't include South London. Don't ask me why. I can tell you actually. It's down to old British gas regions, believe it or not, because the secret's in the name of the GMB, General Municipal and Boilermakers. But basically, the history of the union goes back to the gas workers. Obviously, we've got the big British gas strikes on at the moment because of the fact they're trying to find rehire. So solidarity to our members there. But basically you'll be in a certain area of the country and you'll have a rep who's assigned to you, and a national rep and an organizer like myself. So I'm Steve's organizer, and basically we oversee and assist for members in the London region. Barry he has his own organizer, Susie has theirs, and Ed has theirs, and then overseeing the whole picture for negotiations with the company on behalf of the union is Mick, who is, and I don't want to confuse people too much, not basically there to assist all of the regions, I think, is probably the best way to explain it, and to make sure that the regions sort of all keep on the same track for that. So it's a little confusing for some, but you will get to know it. And that's the other thing. You're also in branches. You can get involved in those branches as well and start to help make GMB policy.
And your membership card. They're on your membership cards, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to go and grab it, but I realised it's not here. We've been asked about the insurance question and when we're going to bring that up, Mick, as well. There's Mick's. There you go. So that's an old style one. Mick got his when everything was still in black and white. So,
and it's London region.
oh, yes. There you go. Just so you know, you'll see the banner at the bottom is just changing. If you want to join the union, there's the link just below there. You can see that link just on your bottom ticker there. I know we want to talk about the GMB benefits as well, because there's everything from free will writing to discounts at all sorts of places. If you look on GMB Extra on the GMB site, and there are extra benefits that we do want you to know about. The insurer has changed. It's now Marsh. There are questions also over high and reward insurance and whether you are or not protected. It is a question that we still need to get some proper responses on from the union. I think this is literally a move from Lockton to Marsh in the last couple of days. Not as well advised as we should have been on this, I think, is what I'd say. I'll let Mick pick up on that first.
No, go on. You're all right. You carry on, mate.
Okay,
I've done a lot of waffling tonight, and I'm really keen to hear some other people's voices. Go on, pal.
No, okay, fine. Well, look, I mean, obviously, there is a real issue over. I can't believe it. My Google speaker's just saying sorry. I don't know why. It just caught me. The issues over insurance are legion. To really be protected, you need a proper hire and reward insurance. I came from an industry where I paid out dutifully for as a private hire driver for hire and reward insurance, knowing full well if I was stopped by the police or a licensing officer without the appropriate insurance, this would be a problem. The issue is that there is this secondary insurance that people are being told they can take and everything will be a fair protection. It's very, very questionable, and a lot of people have already got the high and reward insurance in place and are double paying. If you've already got the high and reward insurance in place and you are being charged, then I think we need to hear about this so we can make sure that you're not paying that extra money out as well. Some people don't even realise they're paying this. We don't have a lot of details about the Marsh situation. Mark Turnbull's just said, look, I saw a post today that Marsh had never even heard of Hermes. Marsh is actually a really large insurer based in the City of London. And certainly I don't know too much about what the deal is. As I said, it's been sprung on us. Very disappointing, I think, that in this one area, we're finding about it almost after the horse has bolted. I know, obviously, Ed, Mick, and myself attended a meeting with Lockton where we didn't get the answers we wanted, and as far as I'm concerned, it's less than appropriate. What we need to know from you, though, is if you have got this insurance that you're paying for, on top of the high and reward cover that you already have, then please let us know. If you haven't got high and reward cover, I'll just say this. It is ultimately important that you have the correct protection. You cannot run 2 insurance policies on your car. Okay, you've got to have the correct protection protect you. If you are stopped by the police, then that's a problem. If, God forbid, also you have got some of the flammable liquids or the paints or any of the other things that are being sent out which aren't necessarily shouldn't be sent out, then we need to know about that as well. And if you have got something that's got signage on it, then where there's a hazardous warning, you need to actually be putting a sign on your vehicle to say that this is what you've got on board. God forbid you're in an accident and the fire brigade were called, it could potentially invalidate your insurance.
Yeah, I think what people, around this, there are some things that we're trying to look at as a union in terms of insurances for people that are self-employed. And it is a very difficult market. It's a very difficult industry. And you can do a deal with an insurance company one year, and then the next year they'll drop the product, because basically insurance companies are in it to make money. They're not there to make a loss. So it is a problem trying to get the correct product. But the issue with the locked-in insurance is, and we have to tell you this, there is no other product on the market at the rate that Lockton are charging that anybody can get any better. But what you need to understand is it's only for third party. That's all it is. It will not replace your business or vehicles if something happens. So it is always appropriate to have the correct hire and reward insurance. And to be honest, Lockton is a very cheap product that just delivers if it's ever needed, third party. And can I just say a quick hi to a friend of mine who's put a lovely message on there, Penny Robinson, president of GMB London region. Hiya, Penny, and I too am very proud to be a member of London region as well.
So me too, that's for sure. Kelly Snedden has put up this question. We've had to tell our CDMs our make and model of car. I think this warrants a response. I can see Ed shaking his head in despair.
Look, anybody that's on this meeting tonight, please spread the word. The comms for this went out in May. It was agreed. It was £3.50. It was for every courier, even if you were multi-round hauler, even if you were having to make more than one return journey. That has not changed. It doesn't matter whether you are driving a Rolls Royce or, believe it or not, a smart car, and that actually does happen, by the way. You are entitled to that payment. Do not let these CDMs or RDMs try and cheat you out of that payment. It's not acceptable. If you're getting any resistance, please email your national rep. Let us know. Let us know on the WhatsApp groups, because we will put a stop to it. I assure you of that.
Val Myers has mentioned about the COVID jabs. We've discussed some of this today. One of the things that came up was in our meeting that I called it the pizza jab, but the Astra satellite one, AstraZeneca one, basically is giving some side effects to people, and we have asked the company to look into ways to protect couriers if they have to take the extra time off for that. I also need to just have a quick look, because Mick has directed me to another post from. I've just got this other very, very important message from from Penny Robinson, and knowing about this service. Penny Robinson is basically, I suppose, our big boss for the region in certain respects. Tony was the acting regional secretary. Penny Robinson is the president. She is super phenomenal, is all I have to say. Mick was directing me to a message that came up.
Kim Warwick. Yeah, Kim Warwick.
I'm just trying to find it, Mick, because
it's just further back. Let me see. It's from Kim, and he basically says, "I thought you only had to have Hiram reward if you were taking payments from customers." Ed.
No, you are. Every one of us is basically classed as a commercial driver. What we do for a living involves us driving, and we are carrying goods. Let's not, these. All right, they belong to Hermes, the parcels. They insure them in transit, but you are transporting them. Okay, if you've got goods in your car, you are virtually a commercial driver. Okay. And I know me and Mick and the other reps are going to also look into the driving hours that are involved in that as well.
The domestic rules for drivers, absolutely, because you're covered by those as well.
Correct. But you need to have the correct insurance on your vehicle. Now, can I just point out, we've talked about locked, and I can maybe just put a bit more information in because I was in a national meeting yesterday. This is a change of broker, okay? The underwriters, as far as we've been told, are the same underwriters. The only thing that's changing, it's the broker from Lockton to Marsh. That's what we've been told, okay? But I think couriers need to be aware. You do not take this insurance unless you have discussed it with your social and domestic insurer, okay? Otherwise, you could end up, and couriers have, me and Mick have dealt with some who haven't told them, haven't discussed it with them, they've had an accident. You now have to tell your social and domestic insurer that you've had an accident before Lockton or Marsh, as it is now, will even pay out on it. You could then end up with a world of pain because they can say, and it's happened to couriers, there will be couriers on this meeting it's happened to, we have not authorised this insurance, you are now, your insurance is void. Now, it can also go further than that. You can be blacklisted, okay, which means you will not get any other insurance. And let's not face it, that does not just include your motor insurance. It could be house insurance, pet insurance, anything. If you end up on a blacklist because you haven't done this properly, you are in real serious problems, I'll warn you.
I'll just say that is a question you will have heard before. Have you ever been denied insurance or had it turned down or revoked? That question is there, and it appears on a register. Rightly or wrongly, that register is for life. My viewpoint is there should be a point when you drop off it, but clearly not. Emma came back to Val's question about the stance of no jab, no job. I think Ed really touched on PPE and some of this just before.
Yeah, there is no proposal at all with Hermes around no jab, no job.
Never even been discussed.
No, and to be honest, most companies that involve a trade union, that is not taking place at all. What we'd all like to see is we would like people to get the vaccination. I think that's what people want to see. And I've had the vaccine. I've had one vaccination already. I'll be waiting for my booster in the next 10 weeks. Lots of our colleagues are having it, and I must admit, I went along to the centre to have it, and as daft as what it seemed like everybody were happy. It seemed like everybody was really cheerful. Which I've not seen for 12 months. And I think there was like this collective sigh of relief inside all of us that actually we've made it this far. We've made it this far to get an injection. And, and I just want to just give a shout out to a mate of mine who's obviously, he may be watching in. And I can't say his name because he works for a company which is extremely anti-union. And he has just been in hospital for 4.5 weeks with the effects of COVID. He's one of our Amazon contacts, and he's been in an extremely bad way. And thankfully, he was let out of hospital last week after 4.5 extremely uncomfortable weeks where he nearly didn't make it. But thanks to the NHS and the wonderful medical teams, he's got his life. It's an uncomfortable life at the moment. So we all know just how bad that this bloody awful disease can be. So my stance on this is, like most people's, if you've got the chance to have that jab and you've got the chance to vaccinate, please do so, because you're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting other people as well.
So just to let you know, Tracy Beeson, I've seen your message.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you tomorrow on this in relation to the insurance. Obviously, we'll put some stuff on the London region WhatsApp as well. Ed, you want to comment?
Yeah, I think we need to be clear on a few points there, Steve. The company do not employ us, okay? And that is a very, very big point there, because actually what Hermes do, they shift the responsibility onto each and every one of us, okay? Hermes won't say, oh yeah, we employ that person. Oh yeah, we made a mistake. If you're in an accident, it's your fault. You are your own business. You are self-employed. If anybody has a CDM, an RDM, anybody from the company telling them that they insure them, can you let one of the reps know, please? Because we will deal with that.
Yeah.
I think it's just important that we need to give people a couple of minutes warning. We've now been live for an hour and 37 minutes. We will need to go off shortly. So last two questions, please, everybody, and then we'll just finish off with a few things, and then, you know, because to be honest, you've all been working hard. And you deserve a bit of respite and to put your feet up. So a couple of questions there, Steve.
Sure. I'm just going to pull some up. There was a question about parcel boxes from Mark Cookson earlier. You know, how can a parcel box do what a letterbox does? I know we've approached the company in a previous meeting also on parcel boxes to suggest that actually they offer a Hermes box that everyone can know on their own website, even, because frankly it would make things a lot easier. And then there's another question here about Peter's wife is a courier. Can they join a local group under her courier number? As long as we can prove, you know, efficacy, I think that's not a problem to put people in a WhatsApp group. But we will periodically check WhatsApp groups and remove people who are no longer members. I caught somebody in the London group not so long ago asking for assistance, which Ed was about to gladly provide, at which point I think I wrote to Ed, Susie and Stephen and said they're actually no longer a member.
Yep.
And I've got to tell you more for them as well, because when they cancelled their membership, I think they then really needed the union at a point when so, you know, careful what you wish for sometimes, I think.
You never know what's around the corner, Steve. And certainly with Hermes, you do not know what's around the corner.
Absolutely. I am mindful that we have got to wrap up. Just two quick reminders. Check for what GMB Union offer beyond protecting you for Hermes. There are a lot of services that are provided. There's a lot of backup. We have a large legal service. London region is here for you anytime you want. If you're a London member, anyone tuning in from elsewhere, your regions will do all they can to support you. I'm going to pass over. I think let me get a message from everyone in the circle. I am mindful that it's been a long day for everyone. This is my second one of these today, plus a load of other meetings. So we've all been on the go since early. So if I go to Steve Good and just get some last words from him.
Yeah, well, I just feel that everyone needs to go SE Plus. I think it is in your interest to go SE Plus. I really think it will benefit you in the long run. I, for one, went into SE Plus, and I would never go back. Well, I wouldn't go back. It's far outweighs lifestyle as far as I'm concerned. And I think people need to get on board and join SE Plus. That's basically it.
Okay, I'm going to go to Susie.
I agree with Steve. I think SE Plus is the way forward for everybody. I think regarding the pay claim, if you haven't voted, then get your vote in now and make sure it's a yes vote. And we'll use this as a stepping stone for the future.
And Uncle Ed.
I think it's very important what Susie and Steve said. SE Plus is the way to go. I will say the GMB is also the way to go, because we are working hard for our members. And I think the thing to remember is we will be building on what we've done today for tomorrow, and we want you all to be part of it. You are the GMB, and we need to stand shoulder to shoulder. Thank you very much for your time tonight as well, Steve.
And Mick Ricks.
Listen, I just there's a little post that's been posted up here, and it's from Jamie Carter, and Jamie says, "Can I ask why information I shared regarding my CDM was shared with the CDM by a GMB rep?" Jamie, I don't know about that particular issue. It might have been something that we discussed earlier. Can you get in touch, please? Because I'm quite interested to know about that. So get in touch and we will sort that out. Can I just say to everybody, thank you. Thank you for what you do as key workers. You have been providing an invaluable service for 12 months now. 12 months since the onset of this pandemic. And, you know, we've tried to clean depots up. We've tried to put in place a more dignified work relationship. And in some respects, that's starting to see through. In some respects, it's not. And you know, we all need to do and try harder to change people's attitudes. But, you know, you're going to see a lot more. You're going to be consulted a lot more over the coming months. You know, we really do believe in Couriers having that voice and having their say. It's never happened before, and we're glad that we are giving every body that opportunity to do so. So again, can I just say to everybody, thank you for giving up your valuable time this evening. You know, for those that have joined us that are not a member of GMB Union, for your peace of mind, your protection, and to know someone is on your side, do join us today. Can I say to Steve, thanks, and thanks to London Region for hosting our national meeting tonight. I think it's been great that we've been able to do this. We've had some fantastic questions, some stretching questions as well, and I just hope that everybody sees that actually we've tried to give everybody a chance. For those that we've not been able to personally answer, we will try and get those answers to you in the next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Steve. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye now.
See you soon.
See you, and thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and hope to see you again.
Whether you're worried about safety in your workplace,
getting the protective equipment you need,
or protecting terms and conditions, we've got the resources, the advice and backup
to support you through this challenging time.
We're proving that together we can win for our members every day.
Whatever job you do,
wherever you work, full-time, part-time, apprentice or student,
we're here for you.
We are the trade union for everyone.
We never give up and we never give in.
More than 500,000 people have already joined the GMB.
And we've been winning for members since 1889.
Our family is 600,000 strong.
We're GMB. Be part of it.
Get us on your side today.